Hey everybody, I'm Juliet Starr, and today I am here with Jeff Caldwell, and I want to introduce you to him. He is someone I met years ago online. He was putting on a how to make music with AI course, and I was very interested in that, being a DJ and into music myself. And he's also a software developer. He has his own AI software with my AI team. And recently he's jumped into being the card price king with Pokemon and other cards and a whole platform with that. So thank you, Jeff, for sitting down with me. And why don't you tell me a little bit about what you've been doing and who you are from your perspective?
Yeah. Thanks, Juliet. Thanks for having me. Okay, so yeah, you and I have known each other for a while, and it started in AI music. And I have pretty much been an entrepreneur for about 10 years online now. I've done everything from build websites to sell CBD through MLMs to creating AI music to learning software development through AI code most recently. And I recently got into Pokemon. I grew up playing Pokemon. I grew up with my brothers doing it, and then I lost my collection growing up. And I hung out with one of my other brothers that I met as an adult from a different my dad, my real dad, and he collected, and he we kind of got back into it. And I was like, I lost my old collection, but I'm an adult, so I'm going to start over. And so I restarted my collection, and since then I have like a ton of cards, like 64. I just picked up 64,000 bulk cards the other
I
day.
saw that.
Um,
I was like, what is he doing?
which is which is really interesting is because my intention, I was just testing out a software. So I think you kind of the lead scraper software that I built. Another one is I built a lead scraper software to scrape Google Maps. And I updated it to make it where instead of sending it in an automation when you reach out by email, you could just send out one email at a time, and then it doesn't say that unsubscribe at the bottom. And I was showing my wife, like, look what I did. I updated this. And then I sent out like 10 emails to local card shops here in the Bay Area in California. And one of them replied, and I just asked everybody, hey, do you have bulk Pokemon cards to sell? And somebody replied and they said, yeah, we have a whole bunch. If you want, you could buy it for $30 for 5,000 cards. And so each one of these boxes is 5,000 cards. And like normally that'd be like $200 for a 5,000 box count. And I was like, oh, absolutely. And I got in my car and I drove down to San Jose and I bought more cards than I've ever bought in my life.
I think they were just trying to clear space, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so it is wild. I pretty much live on the internet, work on the internet, whatever way I could find to hustle and make extra money with this stuff. And so whether it's building software or slinging Pokemon cards,
Right.
this has been the thing for the last 10 years.
Yes, and you definitely have had your hands in a lot of different things, even since I've known you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions today, and we'll see where these lead us.
All right. Sounds great.
Um, One thing I wanted to know from you is what do you think are two of the most powerful turning points in your life, and
Mm,
how did they shape your journey?
mm. That's a great question. Two of the most powerful turning points. Okay. I would say the first one is when I basically lost my job. I was working with my uncle. I was working with a firearm manufacturer, so I would basically like send out emails to their email list and say, "Hey, this is what we loaded this week in ammo." And then I was working from home with that, and I basically got fired, and I didn't know it, and so I was pretty much working for like 2 months without getting paid. And it was kind of like, "Hey, checks in the mail, checks in the mail, we're gonna pay you next Friday." And it was like, dude, 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks went by, a whole month went by. Like I got a family of five to feed, and I was Woo! That was like rent was way past due, and I pretty much had to end up going and getting on like welfare during that time. Like I was like, it was tough. And I ended up like having to get on welfare the day our power got shut off. And I ended up moving in with my father-in-law because I couldn't even work from the internet anymore. And so I was like, dude, like they're not going to pay me. I think I'm just going to have to figure something out. And I ended up moving with my father-in-law and I worked on a website for a year and a half in his garage. And the second turning that led to the second turning point. There was a book I read called it was called .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. And in that he basically teaches like you could just take your knowledge, like whatever it is in life, and put it into a course. And so I sold a $7 course called Traffic on Demand. And it was literally just how to type up an email and send an email to your email list and make money that way. That was it for $7. And I I remember my father-in-law, he said, "Hey, you guys either got to get a job or you got to move out." And that was after a year and a half of me working on that website. And I was like, "No, I'm not going to get a job. I lost all trust in a job, like all trust. Like if my own uncle can screw me over and not pay me, like that's like blood. If he could do that, anyone in the world could do that." And so I was just like, I got to make this work. And so we ended up moving out. We took out a $3,000 loan from PayPal and a friend, and I bought traffic to that website. And here's the thing, I was paying 40 cents for a visitor to my website. And in that, the turning point was I learned something called the math equation of the internet. And so I wasn't just selling like $7 courses. I was asking like, would you like fries and Coke with that? Like, would you like more, right? Would you like an upsell? And so after you bought the email course, well, do you have an email autoresponder to send? Do you have the emails that you want to send? And then I said, so for $47, you could have the 7 emails that would like you light your bank account on fire. And it was called the supercharger kit. And the moment I added that, I could buy a visitor to my website for 40 cents, and my website would turn it into $1.43 on average. And so I was able to buy traffic. So the month we moved out, I put that $3,000 into ads and rent, and I ended up making $23,178 from that website that very first month I moved out. And I learned something called the math equation of the internet from that time. And so since then, every single thing I've been building, whether it's for doctors and selling their courses online, which we've helped people like make 500,000 in 6 months with selling their knowledge, because doctors have better knowledge. So we just help doctors do the same thing, and so we could sell their knowledge for more. But it's the same principle of the math equation. If you could buy traffic, your website could turn those visitors into money. And if you could get that math equation right, you could just print money. And so that's what I
Yeah,
learned.
so
It
yeah,
sucked.
so those turning points, they were hard, but it was kind of like they had to go. Those things were not meant for you. Like it was a turning point that you learned by letting go of something that wasn't meant for you.
100%.
Here
Here we are. Here we are now,
we
Juliet.
are.
Rents still due, girl.
Yeah, but I know. And you just moved from Vegas to California, so now your rent is probably a lot more expensive.
Yeah, it's about double. So yeah.
But, that kind of leads me to the next question. Like, maybe this is in relation to this. Like, what is your deepest dream and how
Yeah.
long you had it and why does it drive you? Because I think from what I understand, it was a goal or a dream for you guys to move to California.
It was, yeah. So we've been like, it's almost like everyone is always like, oh, California is really expensive. It's all expensive. So it's like, it's always talked us out of the dream. And it's like, we've worked on the internet for the last 10 years. So there's no like boss to show up. There's no location. Like, it's none of that. And so it's kind of like we work on the internet. We've been saving money from every month that we make extra, and it's just like putting it away. And it's like, our kids eventually, one of my daughters, she wants to go to Berkeley, which is in California. She wants to go to college. They've seen the struggle of an entrepreneur and they don't want to do that. Like my middle child, she's like, that looks terrible. What do you no. And she's like, I would rather go to college. And I'm like, good on you. And so, well, we live like 20 minutes from the college that she lives, but we're not in that city, but we're as close as you could get for her. We're in state now, and so we could live anywhere. And it's like the ultimate dream is as an entrepreneur, it's interesting is the reason I feel like I've done so many things is not because like one is like you're always trying to see what works, so you want to be financially rewarded for it. You're literally I have a family of five to feed, so it's like what is going to put food on the table and pay rent? Like step one. Then after you pay rent as an entrepreneur, it's like okay, like all my needs are met. Well, like am I
What do you
happy?
want?
Yeah, like what do you want in life? And you start to ask these questions of like all right, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Is this fun? Is this what I enjoy doing? And it's like, so for me, it's entrepreneur is not necessarily about like, can I make a lot of money? You're going to make a lot of money almost with no matter what you do. Is you if you stick it out, you're going to make a lot of money. You just have to not give up. But then it's like, okay, if I'm guaranteed to succeed, what do I want to succeed in life doing? And then all of a sudden, I'm just like, dude, like you're literally going through these ups and downs of entrepreneur because it's like, oh, things work, things don't work. Oh, this works. Oh man, it works so well, but do I want to do it for the rest of my life? And then you have to like try to find things that find happiness. And so for me, yes, making money is going to happen. However, I would rather the reason I have all these Pokemon cards, I drove an hour and a half to San Jose with the biggest smile on my face. I'm talking like, oh my God, I cannot wait. Like I literally read the email like six times. He's like, dude, yeah, we have 10 boxes of 5,000 card count boxes. And I'm like, am I reading this right? Is he saying like he has 5 rows or does he have 10 boxes? Because this is more Pokemon cards than I've ever seen in my life for $30. And I did the math and I'm like, and then I had here's the thing, I had one card in my binder, one of the best cards I had. It was a Mewtwo, and I bought it at $200 and I sold that card. That card today was valued at $300 yesterday, whenever I picked up this cards. Well, most card shops will trade you cards for 80% value. So that that $300 card, they took in at $240 value. And so I traded for 30, like basically they were saying they're like, hey, we're just gonna give you a deal. There's 8 boxes. There was really 13 boxes at $30 each. And so for $240, I got 13 boxes, which is 65,000 Pokemon cards. And then I traded them one card for all of these cards. And so I drove home feeling just as good. Like I stopped by a taco shop. I put guacamole on it, like I like hooked it up. Like you know what I mean? Like this is those little things bring me more joy than anything else. And then all of a sudden it's like I got offers to buy it for $2,000 and I paid 200. And so it's like,
So what are you going to do with all these cards now?
oh, I've been scanning up these cards. So I have a scanner right here and I scan all the cards because here's the thing is like I could one sell them all for $200 a box, right? That's what they're worth right now. Or I could sell them all individually. Every single card, one, I could scan them up by a scanner and I could put them in these boxes. And this scanner, I could scan about 3 to 4 thousand a day. And so I could scan all those cards. I could get through that in a couple weeks, a week or two, and so maybe 3 weeks. And then it's listed on my eBay, on my website, on Card Price King, and like it's listed for sale. And it's one of those things where it's interesting is so far since I've started Pokemon, I've made more money through Pokemon than I have some of my softwares that I've launched in the last couple years. Like, which for me, I'm like, I'm a software developer. I'm like, did I just sell a card for more than I made this month? Like, what is
Well,
happening with my,
you are a software developer because you designed your whole website that people are selling cards on, and then it's cross-selling them to eBay automatically.
yeah. So Yeah, so it's interesting. I feel like you can you can do anything you want with the internet. And because of AI, it's interesting is I've used AI to make music. I've used AI to make websites. And kind of like the only way I could explain it, like my wife and I, she's a graphic designer and she's like a really amazing graphic designer. Makes everything look beautiful, like world class style. Okay. However, me, I like my stuff looks like stick figures, right? It's like like we're not doing very good. We're over here, like so my like she's like a level 10 graphic designer, right? She's level 10. Well, I'm like a level like 2.5. That's like if I'm bragging, right? Like that's pushing it.
But
Well,
with your
like
AI software.
now you're talking. Okay, so now what the reason why AI is so powerful is because all of a sudden AI makes me like a 7 or an 8.
Right.
So like it brings me up to like above average when it brings her down to below expert level. So certain people love AI, but people like me, I'm like, dude, I've been average all my life. Like I even got made fun of in high school because they're like, dude, you're just an average guy. And I'm like, yeah, I am pretty freaking average, man. Yeah. And then I fought that kid
Jeez.
like 2 weeks
But,
later, but
but this
that's
average
separate.
guy, you seem to be doing pretty well. You got a beautiful wife, a wonderful family. You
Thanks.
just moved to where, one of the places you guys dreamed to move to, and you're having fun making money.
Indeed. Yeah.
So it's like, what do you feel most grateful for in your life?
Hmm. Ooh, that's a good one. Look at you, Juliet. You have some awesome questions. I would say what I feel most grateful for, I would say is probably my time freedom. As crazy it is I do genuinely enjoy, like yesterday, I took my son to school, day one, and I picked him up. I didn't even care, like, what time does he get off? It's like, I'm available, and so it's like, I didn't have anything scheduled. I don't have like literally you send me this meeting link. How long ago did you ask for this meeting?
Like 20 minutes before.
I got nothing going on. My bills are paid, my stuff squared away. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? Like I got time freedom and I get to be where I want with who I want when I want. Like there's nothing on my schedule. Like there's nothing pressing me. You know what I mean? Like the worst it is I got somebody says, "Hey man, the scanner's not working," and I'm like, "Oh, let me fix it." And it's like because I forgot to add money into the code area, for the APIs. And it's like other than that, like it's doing what I genuinely love with my time. There's a beautiful park like 5 minutes away. I go on 2 walks a day some days, and it's just because I love the park. And it's like in Vegas when I lived in Vegas, it's like dude, like you either have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to
And it's
be,
still 100 degrees.
and it's still 100, yeah, in the summer, but like, or you go at super late at night and it's like, dude, it's shady to run in Vegas. Like, there's just not a nice park. Like here, I could take a nap at this park. There's no one. No one's gonna come over and shank me and steal my phone, like it's a different park, and so being able to be where you want and have that me having that freedom of like I could be where I want and it's a safe neighborhood. I'll pay extra for that. You know what I mean? Like I'm glad it's expensive, in a weird way because you buy your location. And
Right.
so because I felt like, dude, like I freaking hustled to get this. This was hard. It's still hard. I'm not saying it's easy. I still
No.
scan in 64,000 cards, like so I'm still doing stuff, but I found something that can produce revenue without being attached to my time. And
Right.
that's what I feel most blessed for because I believed in it. People are like, "Oh, you're making $2.97 from these cards." And I'm like, "Dude, I made an extra $3,000 from Pokemon cards that people throw in the trash."
Right.
Like
Exactly. Which is what I need to do because my kids, it's getting out of control here. This is your fault, by the way. This Pokemon problem I have here at my house.
Oh man, it's slave labor. Have those kids scan them up, girl.
They made like $60 on Whatnot one time recently, and I was like, I learned that from you. Like, yeah.
I still have credit card bills for whatnot. I spent so much money on that. And so, yeah, that's whatnot is where I started selling Pokemon cards. And holy cow, that platform is, I, I would say that if like you haven't asked this question, but if I have a goal of what I want to take Card Price King, it's to have live social selling like whatnot. Like,
Yeah, which eBay does do a little bit of that now too, right? Didn't they
yep,
start
and which
doing
is
that?
I went and applied for their program. The day one that I jumped on eBay Live social platform, it took about 3 weeks to get approved for their platform. Like you have to call, you have to talk, you have to set up meetings to set up meetings. It's ridiculous through the interview process. However, when I got approved, like because I scan all the bulk cards, I have a whole bunch of cards that are not bulk. Does that make
Hmm.
sense? So it's almost like it with whatnot. I sold all the cards that were really good, and then I left me
Right,
with all the cards that were really bad, and nobody wanted to buy those. But now,
right.
because I scan all the cards that are really bad, I literally have a bank account of really good cards. And then all of a sudden, I went on live on eBay Live, and I made $1,000 in 2 hours selling Pokemon cards for the very
Wow.
first time I went on eBay Live.
Wow, that's amazing. I gotta get my kids doing that.
But it was because here's the thing: it was because it's almost like it's misleading if I just said I just showed up and sold $1,000 worth of Pokemon cards because I've been scanning the bulk cards for 2 months prior, which is the not good cards. So that creates all of this excess of the good cards. So when I go on live, I have a whole bunch. If you go on live first, all of a sudden you like I haven't went on live since. So it's like because I don't have any more good cards. So it's like I paid $1,000 that one day, and then I'm like, back to bulk, baby. Like, what next? You know what I mean? So it was like
It's the
a flash
grind. It's
back.
the consistent activity, right?
It is totally, so it's like I get to work from anywhere in the world, but also you still got to work and it's just a different job. And so but it's a whole thing, I get to deal with Pokemon, so it's not like it's a horrible job, it's a fun job.
Right, right,
Pokemon.
right.
They're really fun and shiny. And I got a Michael Jordan card the other day. Like
Oh, my son would like that.
this is my first Michael Jordan in my life. I've never had a Michael Jordan. Like, this is so cool. And so it's like, that's who I grew up watching Space Jam with. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I don't even know about basketball, but I know Michael Jordan. And so and that came in a bunch of sports cards I picked up. And I'm just like, it was like a bunch of sports cards for $30, and I picked up like 10,000 sports cards in a suitcase. Like, what? Like, okay, dude. He's like, dude, you want the suitcase and also? I'm like, sure. Like, cool, thanks.
Wow. Yeah,
Yep.
it's like, where do you find these deals where people are just like, oh, take
Yeah.
thousands of cards for me?
Yeah, so there's two places. So at first I started with Facebook Marketplace, and that's the easy low-hanging fruit, right? Just go to Facebook Marketplace and type in Pokemon, do a radius that you're willing to drive like 10 miles. Like I don't go further than 10 miles, like chill. Like, and
Yeah.
then I drive out and I'll buy like they'll say Pokemon collection, and it'll be like a binder in a box. And then they'll say $100, and I'll message them, and they'll say, will you take 20? Every time. And then they'll be like, right? Because now they're here, we're starting here. And then they'll
Yeah.
like, I'll take 40. And then I'll show up with $50, make them feel good, and then that's it. Like I got $100 worth of card for $50. And
They're
then I'll start
happy.
there. Yep. And then most of the time in that collection, a lot of times there's $300 worth of cards. And so that kind of starts you off. And you'll have valuable cards in it, but you'll also have a whole bunch of cards that aren't valuable. Well, that's where you start scanning your cards and listing them to eBay. Because eBay has like I use Card Price King to scan the cards and then price them, but where I'm getting all my buyers is eBay. Like
Yeah.
eBay has so much more buyers. Like just today I'm like at 8 sells, and like they're all $2.97. One of them was 10 cards of $2.97. So it's $30, and it's like it's going to take me 10 minutes to pack and ship all those cards. And
It's
so
almost like your website has become like a utility where some of these apps or softwares you buy, you just buy it to make your life easier using some other software. So that's kind of, it's almost like a utility than like its own standalone software.
it is, which is interesting because I've thought even like, should I get rid of the whole marketplace of Card Price King and just make it where it's just a scanning software? Because that would simplify the entire thing. Literally. Then I would have 2 pages, scan and publish. There's nothing else. But now I have everything. And so as a software developer, I'm learning complexity is not always the best because I'm making 99% of my money just selling the eBay connection because it costs money to
Well, how much
list.
money did you make on just selling that website scraper? I mean, that was like one basic thing.
Yeah, I've made so that paid for the whole move, by the way. I did a webinar right before the move, and then like I sold the code to the script, like to the software for $2,000 right before I moved. And I got 2 buyers that paid for the entire move. Literally the day I moved, we're pulling out of the house, somebody bought for $2,000. And that, I mean, that paid for everything. Like, what's up? Like, the truck doesn't
Yeah.
cost that much. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like, and it's a digital product. So I sent them a
Mhm.
zip file of the entire code, and then that's what they bought.
Yeah, and that software is awesome.
Oh, the
I
new
love
update,
that software.
the new update. So you're using me updating it. They just bought the code and now they have to
Right.
update. Kind of that's the pros and cons of it. You have the new update. If you connect it to Aspire Builder Pro, inside there you can send email now. And I love the way the little Facebook Messenger pops up. You know how it's super easy just to send a Facebook message on like desktop. So that's how I built the software. So you could just click on the email and then boom, it just pops up a little like Facebook Messenger style, and then it automatically has your saved replies. It fills it in automatically. So you can just click it, send, and you can just send cold emails all day long without that little unsubscribe link. And then it comes from your domain also. You know what I mean? It's coming from like Juliet at your domain.
Yeah.
And then it looks very clean, very professional. You could send hundreds and you could even manage your inbox right from that little software.
Yeah, I
So,
need to do that to get me some clients for Colonial Life.
yeah, it is sick. And that's where that bulk. So that was the second part. So the first part is I use Facebook Marketplace, and the second part is I use that Facebook scraper or that Google Map scraper, website scraper API .com. And then then from there, I literally scraped Pokemon stores in the local Bay Area, and then I sent them a cold email asking if they have bulk Pokemon cards to sell. And within 24 hours, somebody said yes. And then I was showed up at their place and bought. I got all their cards for 1 card. Like it's like sitting right
And
there.
you had fun doing it.
I had a blast doing it. And now both of those softwares, I'm a software developer, but both of those softwares are fully AI coded. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't write Hello World to save my life. Like I couldn't write a single line of code today. Like at all. Like it's like almost like like native Spanish speakers that are born in America, they're like their parents speak Spanish, but they could almost like speak it, but they can't write it, type thing.
Yeah.
Like I could almost read code, but I can't write it type thing because the
Yeah.
AI writes it all. So like I just tell it like make me a Pokemon website. And now we have a whole marketplace, an Android app and an iPhone app. And it's been 6 months since I
Oh,
started the
yeah, so what I do is I get on my phone when we're at a card shop with the kids, and I
Hmm.
use your app to like look it up to see what it's worth potentially, so we can see if we're getting a good deal or not.
Heck yes, Juliet. That's so cool. Aw, that's so cool. So cool to hear. That's what's up.
So
Aw.
people are using your stuff,
Heck yeah.
including me and my children.
Aw, yeah. That's so cool.
So, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice,
Mm.
what would it be? And do you actually follow it now?
Yes. Oh my God. Don't quit, little Jeff. Yeah. It's going to be hard as heck, kind of like a push-up. Um, when it really sucks. And I would just say, just embrace the suck. Like literally, that's just the reality. Like, I feel like, you know how like buff people, it's like almost like when you're really buff, it's like, oh man, fat people look at buff people like, oh, you're done. But that's not how it works. It's like, no, I just got really good at doing push-ups, but that means I just do more push-ups now.
Yeah.
So it never got easier. It it never gets easier. It's just you have to not quit and then you get stronger and then you get more push-ups to do even more. So it literally it's like at first it's 10 push-ups is really hard. You're sweating. You're like, dude, I can't do this. Which is kind of like entrepreneur. When I moved out, I literally was living in my father-in-law's that one bedroom apart. We were living in a one bedroom room with my family of five. We had two bunk beds in there with my family of five, like and my wife. You know what I mean? Living in there. I legit couldn't pay $400 a month in rent to him. That's why he kicked us out. And then I had to go think. So that push up was really hard. Now rent is we literally used every single dime of our savings to move to California. And then rent was due in 14 days, $5,000 to pay for this house in California. We still had to do the push up and we still had to, oh, what do we sell to make rent? And then guess what? We made it. I didn't do it. My wife did. She sold the web. Man, woo, I was over there. She's like, I don't know if you're gonna sell enough Pokemon cards to make it. And I'm like, I don't know either, babe. You might have to sell some websites. And she did. And I'm so glad she learned how to sell websites. My God. Yeah. And so she sold a website. She actually sold two, $3,000 each. And my kids have a song that's like "Mama paying the bills in the house, bills in the house," and I gave her a foot rub. Like I tell you
Did
what,
you make the song on AI?
I know. Ah, yeah, the kids sing it. So yeah, so sometimes you just gotta sling stuff, but the skills you learn throughout help, and websites are a thing, and so posting on social is a thing, and making videos is a thing, and all the skills that you learn as an entrepreneur help throughout your season. It just kind of makes it easier, but you just get stronger. It doesn't really ever get easier, which is interesting. So
Yeah, and
say
and
old
I've
Jeff.
seen it. I've seen you bust keep grinding. You just grind. Like you're the epitome
Yeah.
of grinding.
Yeah. So kind of the goal of it all is kind of what the reason why my wife and I we all believe in Card Price King in this latest, right? Is there's something is if you don't have monthly reoccurring revenue, you don't have a business. Okay. And lately, you kind of what I said is we sold a website. Well, sometimes a website is like a one-off deal, right? Like we just
Right.
need the money. We're not, we just need the money this month. We don't, whatever. Well, that's kind of that's not how like life works with your bills. Like your phone bills monthly, your rent is monthly, my power bill's 860 something dollars here. Like I almost threw up yesterday. I'm like, "Bleh," like what is this? And like everyone's like, oh, that must be wrong. There must be a deposit. And like no,
That was
there's
literally my
no
summer bill
deposit.
in California when I had a pool. So
We don't have a
it's
pool.
very real. It's very real. And the prices have gone up since I left California.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so the thing is, if you don't have monthly recurring revenue, you're going to have to be going to fish every month. Every month, you're going to be out fishing, for new stuff. And so, Card Price King, there is a $27 monthly subscription to post to eBay
For your utility. It's a
for your
utility.
utility. Well, we just crossed $1,000 monthly recurring revenue with that sucker.
Yeah, there covers your electric bill.
There comes through on a month. You know what I mean? And so for me, all of a sudden I added that product like 2 months ago and I have $1,000 monthly reoccurring revenue. And then what I learned from the very first time I did the push-ups, I have a new $7 product. So it teaches people how to sell Pokemon cards and do this system. And then guess what? As you go through the little sign up process, there's little check boxes that say, "Would you like fries and Coke with that?" And would you like to learn how to run ads to this? Would you like to learn how to sell on live also? Would you like, and I offer that for 47 bucks and $17. And then at the end you buy the monthly subscription to eBay, which creates that reoccurring subscription. So I still today apply the math equation of the internet. I don't know if you could kind of see it, but there's nope, not very well, but there's on this wall, on this like this glass window door is all the writing of my whiteboard of me mapping out the new funnel, the new website of how I'm going to be able to monetize the traffic in the ads because I'm
Right.
still doing it today. And so I'm showing my wife the ads like, hey babe, like this, I spent $30 a day today and we made 400 off the ads. But then the next day I did it, I like lost 60 bucks. And I'm like, all right, back to the drawing board. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you
and
have to keep constantly, refining those ads and things change sometimes on the daily.
on the daily. And so yeah, like not to give up. And here's the push up, Jeff. Not don't give up. You're not too far away. You're just gonna get better. And I have to get better at ads, and I have to get better at building this math equation in order for this to work. The internet is never gonna be like, oh, hey, Jeff, just because you built something awesome, we're gonna give you all the free traffic in the world. Like doesn't work like that. You have to hustle, or you have to buy traffic, or you have to make videos, and you
And
got to
did
do
I see
it.
that MySpace was coming back? Or is that fake news?
I think all the things that we grew up with are going to come back. Like Pokemon is coming back hardcore, MySpace is coming back hard, like because we all now the kids all have money. We're adults now. And so it's like the things that we wished we could spend money and our time on doing, well, we can now. And so it's
Mhm.
like, we got real jobs. It's like, dude, like you could buy a lot of Pokemon when you're making 150,000 a year. You know what I mean? Like it's woo,
Yeah,
like
like
they're
me,
not that
I buy DJ gear. It's a
yeah.
passion.
I love your DJ setups. I literally like that was my AI music goal was one day to have DJ stuff. It's AI music just didn't pay enough of the bills, so I had to give up my music career. I feel like I relate to a lot of those other musicians now. Never even picked up an instrument though.
Oh
Yeah.
man, oh man. Yeah. I mean, I'm still making songs and I'm playing some of them live when I
Heck yeah.
do my sets. So,
That is so cool. You were the first DJ that I ever saw make money other than like just streaming Spotify. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, like you figured it out. Like, dang, that's so legend. Like the live streams that I would watch, which on
yeah.
Twitch, I love
Yeah,
those
I just
things.
got paid out like $134 from Twitch.
Heck
It's like
yeah.
cool for my DJing.
I fully believe any like I like my kids, they made like as weird as like there's this little like it's a weird site. I don't know it's what it's like Omegle or something like this. Like I'm not sure if your kids have ever been on it. Like usually it's just like creepers touching themselves and then there's every once in a while there's kids, right? So it's a jacked up app, but little kids are on this app all day, right? Well, my daughter made like 40 bucks the other day because she's like convinced somebody to send her money for Uber Eats, And most people like parents would be like, dude, that
I got
sounds really
OnlyFans for kids.
yeah. And I was like, and it literally like she got Cash App and it said favors. And I'm like, dude, like, what is this? My daughter's like 16. What are you doing? And I'm like, I had to talk to her about it, and I'm like,
Right.
what are you doing favors on Omegle and getting Cash App, kid? And she like, I guess she called some dude's girlfriend and they made a prank call and he gave her 40 bucks for it, right? Well,
Oh
like
yeah.
I was like proud of her in a way for making money on the internet, like
Yeah.
if because she's at the age where she goes to a job, she could work, and so she knows what it's like to earn $12 an hour. And if you could make money from the internet, it doesn't matter how. It creates a possibility for a new lifestyle, even if it's a couple $100. it creates the ability like, oh wow, I could keep doing this. And if I keep doing this enough, potentially I could stop doing what I don't want to do and I could do what I want with my time in my life. And
Yeah,
that alone, it changes your life. What it doesn't matter what it is. Websites, DJs, Pokemon cards, like there's a lot of ways to make money on the internet. So,
totally.
yeah.
So, one of my last questions, and I'll probably end up here, but your house containing everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, you can safely make a final dash to save any three items.
Oh yeah.
What would they be and why?
Oh man. I would probably grab my laptop, the one I'm talking to you on right now, because I could work from anywhere in the world and rebuild if I had to. Um, I had all my cards would go up in smoke. Oh man, I have so many cards. I'm not grabbing any of those. Those are way too heavy. But I have a
Maybe
red
a
binder.
binder.
I have a red binder right here. And that red binder is where all of my bangers are. Those are my personal Pokemon collection. Um, so I would grab that as number two in the last one. Oh man. The last one. Oh God. Um,
Choose wisely.
yeah, let me grab one more thing. I guess the car keys, did you say that? I gotta get out. Yeah, I mean,
You're living in your car.
yeah, and so I would grab my that Pokemon binder would probably be the biggest thing. So that's I could rebuild from my laptop and that Pokemon binder. So because here's the thing, that Pokemon binder, it's interesting is what I said is the bulk cards is the business with Pokemon, right? That's what makes the business. However, when you need to sell Pokemon cards, you could use live platforms like Whatnot and eBay Live. I pulled all those cards that night out of that binder. I pulled
Mhm.
about 200 cards out and I sold $1,000 cards because I'm like, dude, I need to pay rent. What am I going to do? Right. Well, dude, I have $5,000 due coming up. How am I going to do it? Well, boom, I sold $1,000 worth of cards in an hour, 2 hours. Like, all right. Well, then it kind of, my wife's like, all right, do that again. I'm like, so about that, I kind of just sold all the ones that are worth anything.
Yeah,
So it is a savings account when you need it.
right.
And
I know I
that's
have some higher ones that I just stash away and for a rainy day, right?
Yep. And there's some days you need it. And guess what? We paid rent. We weren't a day late. The year I moved out into that apartment, I collected eviction notices like it was cool. Every month they put one on. Hey, you got 12 days to get out. And there was times I paid rent 2 hours before they were going to lock the door and the marshal was sitting outside and I
Mm.
paid rent. 2 hours before. I called them. I'm like, hey, I am on my way. Please do not have that guy come on our door, please. Like we are on our way, man. Like they're like, no, no, no. Like he's waiting outside. He's if you guys don't show up, he's coming in. I'm like, nah. Like, and so um some days you need it. And what's crazy is now I'm not hustling as much now in life besides because the push-ups have gotten a little easier. So the
Right.
savings account of putting cards into the Pokemon binder, that that could be a down payment on a house in the future. That could be college for the kids. That could be, oh man, clients aren't doing the greatest, or my app is completely shut down. What am I going to do? I could sell some of these cards to pay rent if I ever need to. And so
Yeah.
it is it's a industry that the bulk is the business and the bangers are that's the savings account. So that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So what do you think the legacy is that you want to leave for the people that you love the most? Maybe not necessarily in terms of achievements, but
Hmm.
you know, how you made them feel or how they remembered you.
Yeah, that's cool. So we have like 178 sellers on the Pokemon's Card Price King. A lot of them are dads.
Hmm.
You know, like I don't feel like enough dads out there get enough credit for the hustle that they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the
shout out to
guy that owns the card shop here in town that we go to, he started it because of his kids.
them. And so shout out to the dads that keep showing up, you know? So yeah, I think that's a hard job.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well,
Yeah.
thanks, Jeff, for spending time. It was
And
nice to
and
talk to
moms,
you.
Juliet, and moms. Because being a mom, holy cow, like that's just as freaking hard, you know? So
Yes.
being a parent is a really it is very rewarding, yes, but also like dude, like we almost we transition from I'm doing all this for myself to like, oh, eventually I am gonna pass. What am I gonna hand off to my kids? And sometimes it's not money. Like I
No.
even let my kids know, like, hey, like if I don't make it, like this is what you get. You get a whole bunch of cards.
I'd be like, thank you, Dad.
Thank you. You know, and they're just going to be pissed off if they have to clean it out, you know? Like they're not
Uh-huh.
happy, you know, and so, but I do hope that they get the lessons of like, you can make it and you can push and you can keep going and you can do whatever you want without anything is possible. Even if you have to sling Pokemon card, you can make it, you know? And so I hope that's the lesson that I pass on to them. So,
Yeah, and I think you and your wife are a good example of that to your children, that you work hard, you can meet your goals. I mean, you guys moved to California, the Bay Area, right? Northern California.
yep. Yep.
So, well, thank you, Jeff. I'm so
Yeah,
happy
thank
we
you.
got to spend this time and ask you these questions, and
Me too.
I'll talk to you
All
soon.
right, Juliet. Talk soon. Look forward to the interview on
Bye.
wherever it lives.
Bye.
Bye.